Well, Mary,
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son to make our richest treasure. How great the pain of searing loss! The Father turns His face away. There's wounds which mother chosen bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon the cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. And it was my sin that held Him there, but till it was accomplished, His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I know that it is finished. I know that it is finished. Yes, I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ.
Welcome to a cot. My name's Gaines Dietrich, and beside me is my wife, Sandy.
we're so happy that you're with us and have chosen to join us. We apologize for any problem that we may have with technical issues like with the internet, and please bear with us.
We're thrilled that you've tuned in, and we look forward to hearing from you. And if you get an opportunity to suggest topics that you'd like for us to discuss at our sessions, that would be very helpful. God bless you.
God bless.
at a Florida State football game. So we kind of had two first dates,
Yes.
but that second first date was the one that took us to 12 years married now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay. Wonderful.
I'm Holly. I've been married, well, my husband's name is Jeff, and we've been married for 2 years. And I guess I would say our first date was Fresh Market. We took a Fresh Market, and
Wow.
we picked out what we wanted, and we ate at a picnic table.
That's Jim.
Wow. Okay. 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 Great.
My name's Megan. I've been married to my husband Joe for 3 years, and our first date was dinner on Clearwater Beach.
Wow. Okay.
I'm Dina. My husband is Phil. Our 15th anniversary is in May.
Wow.
And we knew each other we were like good friends and in the same circle. So our first official date wasn't until after we started dating. And our first date was, Phil was fasting. And so just like the Jeff story, you're going to hear this and be like, yeah, that sounds like Phil. So I don't know how to make this short. I'm trying my best here. I'm like, so essentially my roommate came to me. She was like, you haven't taken Dina on a date yet. What's wrong with you? And he's like, okay. So he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? And so I was like, got all dolled up. Of course, he comes from a night class. He was still in university. He comes like straight from night class in like his horrible style. This is before I got through his closet, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like a baggy t-shirt and baggy jeans. And he's like, so I'm fasting for the Lord. And so I was like, well, I'm hungry. He took me to Jimmy John's.
Wow. Yeah.
Jimmy John's parking lot because he had no plan. And he was like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I want to do? So Jimmy John's is around the corner. So he got me Jimmy John's, and I sat in this car and ate it.
In front of you.
And then it was a Wednesday night at like almost 9 p.m. And so what is there to do? Like nothing. He was like, well, we could do a movie. I was like, that's stupid. Like, what a horrible cliche. No. So like across the river, we lived in Nebraska. I'm sorry, this is way longer than
No, that's
I know. Across the river was Iowa, and there you could gamble in Iowa. So I was like, well, I've never been to a casino. Casino, and we were like, what? I honestly don't even remember the details besides like, what a memory. So we're like walking through all these like retiree zombies at slot machines. So we were like, yeah, it's so depressing. Like, what? Let's get out of here. And then after that, I was like, well, we have to have a redo first date because that was horrible on every level, and we did, and I have no idea I have no memory of it.
Yeah. That one you do. Wow.
So funny.
Yeah.
He's grown in some ways, and some ways not as much. Planning the date's still a struggle.
In some ways, we just learned who's the better.
Exactly. Yeah, I blame them, and then everyone's happy. Yeah.
I'm Rachel, and my husband's Robert, R&R. And we met in Nashville I should say, we didn't meet at a coffee shop. We had our first date at a coffee shop called Honest.
Okay.
And we've been married for 6 years.
Wow. All right.
I'm Christina. My husband's name is Justin. We're coming up to 19 years.
Wow.
And our first date is different for me than for him because I didn't realize that he was dating me.
Okay.
Our first date was I was walking along and I'm like, so what do you want to do? And he's like, go to the movies. I'm like, that is awful. I need to sit next to this guy who I barely know. He might try to kiss me or put his arm around me. I can't talk. And so I was like, well, why don't we go, eat something? And he thought, in fact, now I know, his thoughts were, she wants to go somewhere where I have to talk. What am I going to talk with her about? I barely know her. I wanted to go to the movies where we could just sit together and not have to talk. That's amazing. So quality time is his love language, and words of affirmation is clearly mine.
Yes. Yes.
Took us too long to figure that one out.
We're doing something together. We're sitting by each other.
But we ended up going to a place that was called Justice Art. It was good.
Well, I'm Rachel. My husband's Joe, and we're coming up on 9 years,
Wow.
which is crazy to think about. And our first date, which I think Joe would also, I love that you guys kind of went back and forth because, like, I would say this is a date that I thought was a date, but he didn't think was a date. He took me to a revival.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
which he had never been to a revival. And it's because my ACL was torn, and like all of our college student ministry was like trying to heal my knee, so I didn't have to get surgery. And he was like, I'm gonna take Rachel to this revival that was in Ocala, and we were in Gainesville, so it's like 45 minutes away, and see if like we can pray for her knee and it'll get healed. And
Wow.
we went to this revival, and it was an amazing experience. My knee got healed through surgery, but it's still like I don't have any pain. But then we went to, where did we go? Steak and Shake. That's where we had food. And he was uncomfortable because I didn't want to order anything because I was like, oh, I can't eat. I had like an eating thing, and I was like, oh, my ACL's torn. I didn't want to eat Steak and Shake like at 11 midnight or whatever because I was like, I can't, I shouldn't. Like, I was trying to be health conscientious. And he thought I hated him and didn't like him because I didn't eat anything. So I just watched him eat. He had a cheeseburger and like a shake, and I just watched him. And he was like, "This girl hates me," and
She's disgusted at my life.
Yeah, and I was like sharing my testimony. It was really intense and like way too analytical, and then he was just like, oh, whatever the Lord wants to do, I don't even know what's happening. Very different personality.
Wow.
Your story, your story. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
I am Kathy Irwin, and I am married to Tony Rusing, and we have different last names because we're a blended family. And we were the first to invent that you don't have to have your husband's last name. We've been married 37 and a half years, and we technically never had a first date because if his kids wanted to get together with my kids, I didn't know him, so I would meet them someplace so that the children could talk, and we would talk about how we would ever get married again. And so we were friends. And so he travels a lot, and he needed a ride home from the airport one day, and his older daughter wasn't available, so he called me. Can you pick me up? I went, sure, I'll pick you up. And he gets in a van. I had a full size, big old van, real fancy thing, and the kids loved. And he got in the van, and he goes, I don't even know how to tell you this. I went, what? He said, I really missed you when you were gone. When I was gone. And I went, I'm driving. I missed you too, but here's the thing. I would never live with anybody. I'm not going to do anything that God doesn't want me to do, so we'll just have to get married.
Wow.
And 6 weeks later, we got married.
Wow.
200 people at our wedding.
Wow.
200 people.
Wow.
The people that had known that we were, the kids were going, and he knew some of my friends, and they were like, you guys were like the very last to know. We knew each other like 3 years or so.
Wow.
And so I found my dress on a sale rack in Neiman Marcus, and my matron of honor was my best friend who I taught with, and I said her daughter just got married. I said, what color was your mother's dress? And mother of the bride. She says, periwinkle, perfect. So I bought my daughter a dress on sale. The cake was made for us. It was an amazing wedding, and it was so fun.
That's so good. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
And we get our album out every year and look at all the pictures
Aw.
because we look a lot different. 37.
Yes, yes, you do. You do.
The way you got married literally reminds me of how I got married.
Really?
I was only engaged for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
And we plan on wow, that's amazing.
So technically, no first date.
Got it.
Maybe you should start now.
That's okay. That's okay. All right.
All right, my name is Cynthia Keegan. I'm married to Shane Keegan. We're married for 10 years now. And then before we like kind of decided to gonna have a date, so we were like 3 years already. I was working in as a school teacher, and then I said like, I will have a date, and then we come and visit the Philippines. That is also working because I don't know that you are working in Philippines. So he came to China, stop by to see me, and then he decided to have a date, and then I thought to myself, and then I prayed to the Lord. The first time I saw him, that when he come down, he's wearing pink.
Oh.
He's the guy Lord that I've been praying for. And then the first time he come down, it's like I saw him, it's like pink. So I said, he's pink. He says, like, I have a goosebump a little bit like that. So okay, so we're walking. So it's like, is that true, Lord? Is that real? So we're walking. We're both foodie, as you know, my husband. So we're both foodie. So we're going for a date for a Chinese restaurant, and then at 3 restaurants we asked, do you have a spring roll? So no, we don't have a spring roll. We're in China. Why do you don't have a spring roll? So we tried another 3 restaurants, didn't have a spring roll. So eventually we went to some of our restaurants that have a spring roll. So that is our
Okay.
first.
That was your first date. Thank you.
I'm Karen. I'm married to Rob. We're coming up on 14 years. We're also a blended family, so I know what that's like. Our first date was at a place called Club Soda because I love jazz music, and he actually I think that's the only date he's ever planned. Was our first. All his idea. Showed up with a single red rose, dressed to the hilt in a suit and tie. I had no idea. I had jeans and a shirt. I didn't know where we were going. Yeah, we dated for 3 months, got engaged, and we were married 3 months later.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, me.
Okay.
My name is Carolina. My husband is Patricio, and we have been married for 21 years. And our first date was we went for dinner and then came back to my house, and my mom was upstairs. My brothers were just finishing the music night because they are musicians, and we were talking, and suddenly he took the guitar. He knew that I liked music very much. He took the guitar, and I was like, "Did you play guitar?" And he said, "Yes, you want to hear me to play?" And I said, "Oh, yes, of course," because I really like a man who plays guitar. So he starts on beautiful song, like the 10 seconds of the song, and then finish and put it. And I said, "What happened? Continue. I like it." No, I like you to get more, like wanted more.
Oh.
Okay. He never finished the song.
Oh.
It was the only the only 10 seconds
That he knew? Yeah.
And I was like, "That's clever."
It's okay. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Did he never learn to get anything ever again? No.
We now have a great student.
Okay. Nina?
Well, my name is Marlene. Everyone at my family calls me Marmar or Maro. And you all know me as Lena, which is not my real name. Our first date, Barnes took me to parts of Paris before they demolished the best part of it and turned it into a
Gastro.
it's pretty much, yeah. But remember when we went there? We went there. He was fully dressed. He had a big bouquet of flowers, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, this man is worth a shot. But if he ever tells you about our first date, we planned to go in for a coffee, and then it lasted 4 hours.
That's good.
And he would also tell you that I gave him a fake name, which is Lena, and then he made everyone believe that this is my name. Everyone calls me that name.
Okay. We
Yeah,
call, yep.
but we've been married for 2 years and 7 months now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Lena, I feel like I was lied.
So when I first met him, I didn't give him my real name because I'm so easy to find online. And I was like, well, if he's a crazy guy and I just want to disappear.
So what's your real name?
Yes. Marlene.
Oh, Marlene.
Do
So
you
no one
wanna
ever
go?
called you Lena before him?
No.
Really?
So what do you like to be? No, everyone calls me that.
Yeah.
What do you like to be called?
Do you prefer to be called Marlene, or do you prefer to?
It just became a name. So everyone calls me that now. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Now we know.
Well, that's not the only name she has. She has like 500 names. So you take your pick. But I know that if I talk to anyone that met her through Barnes, it's Lena.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Lena. So
Okay.
professionally, she goes by
Okay
Marlene.
with that. Yeah, that's
From what can I?
What? Yes.
All right, quick. 3 years, 52 years. I'm going on 53. And we had a picnic.
Okay. Okay.
First date.
And your husband's name is?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's Kathy. I thought that. Okay. Okay. Well, you're going to hear about my story. So I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to figure it out as we go along. My husband's name is Randy. And I'm Mary. We met in high school in Arkansas, which is where we grew up. I was 16 and he was 17. We knew each other, but I wouldn't say that we were really friends. We just grew up in a small town, so we knew each other. One day, he asked a friend of mine if she thought that I would go out with him. And as she was asking me, he was standing across the parking lot, and I looked and I smiled because I thought, oh, he really thinks he could date someone like me, someone older, he's here. But nevertheless, I smiled and I thought, I admire this chutzpah and I'm going to go out with this guy. So we started dating and we had a blast. He was so much fun. He's adventurous. He's romantic. He was a little starstruck, and so he treated me like a queen. And who doesn't like that? So by the end of my senior year, he wanted to get married. Now, we were 17 and 18 at this point, and I did not. I said I thought we were too young. I thought life was just beginning and we needed to put this on hold. And so we went our separate ways. And eventually we both ended up years later marrying other people. But those marriages didn't last. And so almost 20 years later, God brought us back together. And so we have now been married for almost 33 years. So we've known each other for a long time. Anyway, after a quick courtship, and frankly, I don't remember what we did on the first date, but it's high school. You probably went in a pickup truck and went to a drive-in movie. Always a bad sign, but nevertheless. And then hopefully he took me out for dinner later, but anyway. But it was, so when we got back together, we knew this was something special. We got married and I moved to Oklahoma. So we blended our families. I had 2 children and he had 2 children. And so we just kind of jumped into life together. It was good. Again, it was fun. It was passionate, but we were great friends and we became a team. Um, we did most things together. But then, life comes along, and even though the honeymoon stage was over, it got very real. Uh, Even though I wouldn't tell you that we were very career focused, uh, our careers both took off. He went from traveling a couple of days a week to being gone 3 or 4 days a week. I commuted to work sometimes as much as 2 hours a day. Um, we only had one child at home, and she was older, so it was a tough time, but it was just something that we learned to deal with. His boys lived in Fort Smith with their mother, and so we had about a 2-hour commute, 4 hours altogether, every other weekend to go and get them and bring them back. And so, those of you in blended marriages, it gets messy, and you do your best to make it work. Um, in addition to that, financial pressures come for couples. Randy was in sales, and that meant income could be feast or famine. And so you had to learn to deal with that. We each had debt from previous marriages that we had to deal with. I had a steady job in what I did. And so we made it work, but we had to work together as a team to try to figure that out. Um, but there was pressure that was brought to bear. But you you take those things and you realize later on that God is actually shaping you and putting together something that you can't see at the present time. We were raising kids, and then a little bit we were helping raise grandchildren. So it all came pretty quickly. It was busy. It was demanding. Um, Now we were believers. I think I was on the cradle roll call at the Southern Baptist Church in Arkansas. I know that I was. Randy really didn't grow up in church, but he made a profession of faith. And when we got together, we had to try to figure out how we were going to make that work. In his first marriage, he had married a woman who was Catholic, and he had had to go through the conversion process to even marry her. So we were dealing with that. We were dealing with my Protestant background. And so we ended up finding a church with a pastor who really was a great Bible teacher. And it gave us a hunger for that. We got involved. I led children's ministry. Randy worked with the youth. And so, in the midst of all this, we started going to Bible study fellowship. Everybody know what that is. Most people do. And we didn't go together. I mean, they had a women's group and a men's group, but so it was the first time we really began to learn how to study the Word. But I had grown up Southern Baptist, and we memorize a lot of scripture. We do a lot of Bible study, and so that was really in my wheelhouse. And Randy, he is great fun, but he is not a big reader. And I'm not just talking about the Bible. I'm talking about just anything. He's just a visual learner. He enjoys that more, but he just wasn't. So this was a fresh start for us. Um, so here we are. We're going together. We're going to church. We're studying the Word. Um, and I'll tell you, even though we were believers, we pretty much had one foot in the world most of the time. Uh, it's tough. It was tough not to then. I mean, it's tough not to do that today. And so um, that brings more pressure to bear when you're trying to work that out. Uh, I had a chance. I shared with some ladies a few minutes ago to go to Israel on a trip. Randy didn't end up going with me on that trip, but it was something that really changed for me. It gave me not just a love for the land, but for the people there. Um, and so, even though he didn't get to go, he knew what I'd been through. Um, but it kind of fills into where we end up. And ultimately, during this period of time, we felt like we were being called into ministry together. And at the time, we were in a Southern Baptist church. And what do? You focus toward missions. And so we applied to the International Mission Board. Um, it was a little bit more complicated because we had been divorced. There's some pretty stringent interviews that you go through. You have to see a psychologist. It's pretty crazy. But while we were waiting to find out if we were going to be sent somewhere, we had started to not just step out from our church, but we had some like-minded friends, and we were really hungry for more than what we were getting. So we were starting to go visit churches on the weekend when we weren't at our own church, to try to get a better, just hungry for the word. And it was really when we began to step into that, first the missions, that we'd heard about a church that was teaching about Israel and the Hebraic roots. Now, if I talk about Hebraic roots, do most of you know that teaching where it's not Jewish? Uh, you're not following the Jewish religion, but you're getting taught more on what the roots of our faith are. Um, the Bible was written by Jewish men. Most of you know that, and so we were learning more about how to interpret the word based on what the Bible said. We're learning about the culture that it was written in, and it really helped us understand a little bit more about what the word was actually saying. So we went through actually leaving the church we were at and moving on to this church, and it was great. We learned a lot. We grew spiritually. We went to Israel many times. We led groups there, and we began to just pour into people, and then we actually began to lead home groups. So we had found some calling for ourselves at that point. And then something happened where Randy had begun. Again, this is not this guy that's not reading, but he had begun to study scripture from an online service that really took it back to the original text. And when it did, he started hearing things differently. And so we would go to service, and now by this time we've been there 20 years, and he was he would either he might fall asleep during the service. We sat on the front row, so you're like you're used to this with the kid, but your hubby, or you could tell he was distracted. Or when we would leave, I'd like, what's going on? And he said, I just studied that, and that doesn't align with something I've just studied. And this was unsettling for me, because for me, the congregation that we were a part of was a safe place. They had been with us through some life crises and prayed with us. And I'm like, what's going on here? He's taking a different approach here. And so, of course, I'm thinking, oh, I'm the one that's been in Bible study for, blah, years. And, really, and you're questioning this. But, I couldn't ignore, in spite of this, what I was seeing in him. And that was a hunger for the word. And I realized God was answering my prayer after all these years, because I kept thinking, if he just gets this, if he connects, when you meet him, or you may meet him, he walked by, he's very passionate about things. And so it was a connection. There was a depth, a clarity that I saw in him, and a hunger for the word. So I thought, I need to see what's going on here. So I began to study for myself. And slowly I began to see what he was seeing. So now we reach what's probably been a tough thing for us. And that was, we made a decision to leave that congregation. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. It wasn't very amicable. But we did it together. And the home group that we had been working with, actually, we had already been studying the word the same way, and they actually came with us. Um, uh, it wasn't really a church split, just people differently stepped away. And so uh, that's kind of where we're at today. It's not kind of, that is where we are today. And now we're leading this group. And we have another group that's formed in a town about an hour and a half from us. And so I don't know what God's doing, but this is kind of how things have evolved. And I said that pretty quickly because we've been here a long time, and it was kind of the quick version. But you know, we were both in the corporate world for a long time. We just retired in the last couple of years. Um, it was. I hope I touched on something. Although all of our backgrounds are different, we also got different starts. Randy thought that the reason I didn't want to marry him the first time was because I thought he was going to be a pig farmer all his life. He wasn't. He just had an FFA project doing that, and he thought that's what I thought. But I'm just saying we've been through some things. But I I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. And I'm glad to answer any questions you might have. But I really wanted to talk about some things that God showed me through that process, because what's going to be important for you to be able to be the Ezra Kenegdo is you have to become one with them. And no matter how different they are, and some of you had husbands that were quite a bit different than you were. Maybe we all did, okay? And like you said, you get them down, but there were some truths that came forward as I was writing this for you that I felt like were the key part of what I wanted to share with you. Okay, these are practical things, okay? And I'll just say, there's something that we do. We go to bed together every night, whenever possible. We protect that connection because intimacy is just not physical. It is spiritual. It is emotional. Yes, and so that's important for us. Um, I always speak with honor about him. It is very common with people, as you all know, to get out with couples, and everybody likes to have fun and tease about their spouse. Um, and I'm not saying we're so rigid, but we don't tease about each other in front of other people. That's for private moments if we want to do that, but we do not speak with dishonor about each other. And frankly, I get uncomfortable when I'm out with couples who do that. It's very common, you realize, I mean, but sadly. But anyway, always speak with honor, especially in front of others. Um, Now, I asked Chat GPT to help me with some because he told me I was a little too direct on some of these, so I can't remember what was so direct and what I had to soften. But one of them was, here it was. I just said it. Husband first, children are second. To me, that's pretty easy. This one says nurture your marriage as the foundation of your home. But, I get it. Okay. So that's a very critical part of who we are and how we have become one together. Um, Take interest in his world. Um, Now, you know, I didn't know anything about bird dog trials, and I don't know if any of you all do, but it is something that he absolutely loves. And I learned you take bird dogs, a pointer, a spaniel, hunting dog, you take them out to a field. It's a competition. They release the dogs. They have planted birds on the course, and then they hunt the birds, and then you were judged on how well your dog did. Does he back? Does he point? And then you're like, well, great. You go have fun, have fun. Tell me about what it's like when you get back. Well, I didn't do it that way. I thought, there's got to be something about this that I can like. Well, You follow on horseback. Love horses. Grew up with horses. I thought, all right, if nothing else, I can ride a horse for 6 hours a day. But anyway, as we begin to do this, I got interested in what the dogs were doing, what the finer points were, what they were grading them on. And before you knew it, you know, I knew about as much about it as anybody riding, because I wanted to take an interest in what he was doing. I wasn't doing it. At some point, we crossed over from me just being kind to me actually having a vested interest. It's like football. He is a. It didn't take that long, and you may have to choose some of their hobbies. Okay, he's a big football fan. I mean, I've always cared for football, but I know a lot about football. And he'll tell you, he'll pick me to watch a game with him over most people, because I understand what's going on. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to become part of his world, then you're going to have to show some interest in what it is that he does. So, another one, pause before reacting. Uh, when you're still emotional and something's been said, even though it feels good or you think it does, that is never the time to say anything. No matter what you have to do, if you have to leave, go in another room, whatever you have to do, you don't react when something happens. And then you seek God's timing for the resolution. I have learned that, and I've learned if I step away, if I have to force myself, if I pull out the Psalms, if I do whatever to get my mind off what it's about, that gives me the peace that I need until God's ready for us to work through resolving whatever the conflict might be. I learn what's important to him. What actually matters to him. Okay, maybe a different generation than you, but it didn't matter that I worked full time or that I commuted some. I knew that his expectations were, he never sent them to me. He never challenged me on them. I had groceries at the house. I had dinner. I had meals ready to go. I kept the house clean. I kept the clothes washed. I wasn't doing it all myself, ladies, but you figure out how to make that work. So that's something that's important to him. He never said a word. I just knew that's how he was raised. And so that brings him a lot of joy and peace. And so I make sure that happens in our household. So it may be something different for you, but part of it is just knowing what your expectations are. Sure.
So how did you manage all of that and worked when you say that you didn't do it all yourself?
Well, I've had a housekeeper since I was probably 30 years old. Okay. And good grief today, what with delivery and pickup, it's so easy to get groceries. Sometimes I'd go on my lunch hour or whenever and bring it home. I have spent thousands of dollars at the dry cleaner. So, you figure out how you're going to make that work. And that's how it is. So, does that answer your question? Okay. 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 Support is calling. One of the things that I did on my way here was I had some list of questions that Sandy had given me, and I said, okay, tell me. We had a 5-day road trip already, so we had some time in the car. Okay, tell me how you think I should answer this. I was frankly bless my socks off that he told me some things that I had no idea that he saw that as something that I was doing for him or was important for him. And so one of the things he told me was, I was never, he's in sales. Anybody married to a salesman? Anybody married? He was in like corporate sales, and we'd go and he would, bid on a big deal, and we'd wait for weeks to see how it went. But he said, I never worried about if I didn't get the deal or I failed, that you were going to be mad at me or you were going to be fearful. I knew you were going to be okay and support me. And so I did something right. Okay. Sometimes when he wants to do something, uh, I have to trust the Holy Spirit in him, even when I don't understand it. Now, notice I'm not saying submit. I'm saying I trust the Holy Spirit in him until I can gain understanding of what it is that God is doing here. And I have never seen that backfire on me, not even one time. We choose unity over winning disagreements. Have we ever had fights? Yes. Yes, but not really anymore. We don't. We rarely argue. We may not agree on something, but we rarely argue. I'm almost finished. Surround yourself with couples who strengthen your marriage. And I'll say this: don't live separate social lives. I can't emphasize that enough. I'm not saying that, obviously you're here for a women's group, but we didn't choose to uh, go have a guys' night and a girls' night. I think that for us that was just not really an option because it kept us focused on our relationship, building ourselves as a team, and so for us that was a critical part in building the oneness. So I can't think if I've got anything else. Did I say surround yourself with couples who strengthen your marriage? I thought I did. Okay. Anyway, I think about there are many things that this could go to anybody, whether your husband's a king or he's just a believer who is trying to do his best to support his family. If he realizes that you're in unity with him, and as you make those you make moves to be in unity with him, God then gives you the grace to be able to pull it off. Um, Becoming one, it just doesn't happen, woo, you wake up and you work at it, you sow into it, and it's something that you choose to do, and it just doesn't come. Anyway, thank you for letting me share all that with you. I hope some of it was helpful.
You got questions?
Anybody?
I just have a question on the study that you were doing. That's the Hebrewic, or what was closest to, I guess, the word.
Yes, it's called Torah class. It's
You can get it online.
yeah, you can, and it is
An app's really.
it's an app, and the guy
It's called Torah.
called Torah class.
Torah.
The guy who teaches it was I love it. He was a Fortune 500 CFO, and he left the corporate world when he was in his, I think I read 49 or 50 years old, and started doing all this research. And he doesn't have an agenda. He's just studied this out, and so the thing about this is, and since you've asked me, we're in a season in our lives where can we trust that the school teachers are teaching the truth? Can we trust that our elected officials are acting out the truth? Does the media report the truth? And so you learn to, we're in a season where we question things. So we're learning how to dissect the word for ourselves. It's hard when you get as our age because there's so much, you begin to realize you have learned so many things because you've sat in church and you've trusted your teacher. There's a lot of doctrine that's taught. That's not necessarily in the word. And so that's what we're doing. I've had to start all over again and see how much I've studied is true and how much of it was something that man added to the story. So anyway, it's been very good for us and for our group. Anything else? Thank you.
The season where he started to question and study until you.
It was about a year. It was about a year. And like I said, it gave me an uneasy feeling because that was one thing, you know, in our world was spiritual connections and where we were, and to think that there may be something there that wasn't true was, uh, you know, so it took about a year, but it was when I couldn't just. It's not that I just blew him off, but I had to go study it out for myself. I had to study for myself and then let the Lord show me. Oh, oh, because I mean, I was like, what's he doing? He's challenging our past, I mean, gosh, or he's challenging this, or good grief, again, look at me, look how long I've been doing this. But yes, he was, and wow. So it was about a year. Oh, yes. Yeah. No, not at first, probably right up until I realized it was truth.
Because it's twofold, right? Like first of all, it questions all your beliefs, but then it also questions the foundation of your marriage because all of a sudden you're not on the same page anymore.
Exactly. In the most important thing, we're not on the same page. Yes.
And I've noticed like that I've kept my almost in a way kept myself back from stepping out to something because to protect unity.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think it's always right.
Yeah.
But I'm so scared of exactly that, like that disconnection and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's when I say I had to trust the Holy Spirit in Him.
To bring you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like you're saying, what if it's in the reverse? So how do you, when you're the one that's like, the Lord's showing me this and this and this, but he's not there yet.
One
Like
thing
how
she did say is that you draw near to Christ. Like you like during a season where one of you is not on the same page, you trust that the Lord is going to bring you together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that you're drawing away from your spouse; you're drawing closer to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I? So it's like
That's
you're still
it.
safe. There's still safety. You trust
Yeah.
that your husband's going to draw near to Christ.
Yeah.
You're drawing near to Christ.
Yeah.
And that you're going to end up at the same spot.
Yeah.
It just might take a little bit of time.
temporary
Uh-huh.
disconnect.
It is, and you know, it wasn't, guys. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you if you don't know me, but I mean, I'm used to being the boss where I work. You have to dial that back when you go home. He's used to doing his thing, so we had to learn to dance, and that's the beautiful analogy of this. We had to learn how to dance with that. So in a dance, somebody has to lead and the other has to follow, but it might not always be the same one. But the good thing is when you do it enough and you can't tell who's leading. And so as you learn to trust each other, then you can accept the change. And, you know, for us, and I'll just say this, God will usually give your husband the direction. And you pray until you get to the understanding. So, anything else?
I wanted to share something actually. So I'm in a Marriage Monday group. Megan's our leader.
Well, that makes me nervous.
No, it's good. No, it's good. I was thinking, like, you know, you're saying all those things. Like, I feel very, very blessed and very grateful and lucky. Like, my husband and I were friends first, and he wanted to date me, like I said, and I was like, and then I was like, okay, and it's just a beautiful. We are so compatible, like everything. But not everybody is like that.
Yeah.
But weekly, Megan sends us these like prayer prompts. And one of the sections is to share something with your spouse that is blank, like something, I can't even think of one of the examples, but something that, you know, they've done for you this week, or how have they like helped you, whatever. And my husband and I are so wonderful, but it's still nice to hear those things and share those things. So,
Yes.
I mean, I can just send it to like the group.
That's
so it's
awesome.
something
Very
that you all
good.
can just do with each other, like whenever. We do it at night laying in bed together. Like,
That's awesome.
and we love it. And it just, and I hear some things that I don't realize that I'm doing, and that he like kind of tells me. I'm like,
That's cool. That is super cool.
yeah, it's just really wonderful.
Group me for
Yeah.
a while.
What?
Why don't you put them on group me for?
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
Okay.
I will.
That'd be Would not y'all like that?
Mhm.
It's Harborside creates Crystal and Amos
Oh, okay.
put them together for the
Share it?
of course, yeah. And they're
It's not like a copyright
seven-
thing.
no. But but the premise behind it is they want couples praying together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and they give you that prayer prompt to talk and lift each other up. And I think you can become so comfortable sometimes with one another that those things do slip away. So
Yeah.
to hear a compliment
Yeah.
or say something that you noticed your wife did for you this week or your husband did for you, and
Yeah.
like she said, to hear those, you're just like,
It's really nice.
oh, you noticed? Like, you
Yeah.
know,
We need that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We do.
Anything else?
I just have to say it's nice having a boss, Ezer Kenegdo, come in and talk to us. Because I think that sometimes we get like only one. I mean, that's what this whole group has been showing us is that Ezer Kenegdo is not this like submissive woman. That we're like partners in war, and so it's like having. And I also think that the world portrays like boss energy in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so it's nice having like a spiritual, like it's just nice having other women reinforce like what our true identity is.
Yes. Yeah.
My
Thank you.
husband's going through a tough season right now, and the Lord had given me a visual of him and then as the lion and me as the lioness, but actually circling him, like protecting him in the spiritual realm of warfare as he fights for the truth and the grace. Like I was covering him and circling him in the spiritual realm of like a lioness, like you won't come near my husband. And it was very powerful. So I
That's
think
cool.
sometimes we can maybe lose like our authority and how powerful
That's right. That's
like,
right.
the power Christ has given us to protect our leader.
Yes.
That's a great reminder.
We didn't see this at the beginning because I think it's going to have power now.
Okay.
This is who we are, ladies.
Bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, spotless and pure, clothed in righteousness, washed in the word. Our lamps burn. We're waiting and ready for your return. We are tearing like Deborah, devoted like Ruth, waging worship in spirit and truth. Through the fires, through the storm, staying true to the vow we've sworn. Ready to fight your side. We will not run, we will not hide. We're your beloved, your warrior bride. Unafraid, unbroken, unbent. We are the anti-remnants, faithfully keeping covenant from every nation, tongue, and tribe. We are your warrior bride.
Mm.
What'd you say?
Ancient praise, dressed in white, framed in gold. We are the bride, the prophets foretold. Ready to fight by your side. We will not run, we will not hide. We will love your warrior bride. Unafraid, unbroken, unbent. We are the anti-rebels, faithfully keeping covenant from every nation, tongue, and tribe. We are your warrior bride. Set apart, the lion roars within our hearts. Standing tall, we stand ready for the call. Washed in the word, we've made ourselves ready. Spotless and pure, strong and steady. Vigilant, we yearn for your return. Our lamps are full and our fire burns. Ready to fight by your side. We will not run, we will not hide. We will love your warrior bride. Unafraid, unbroken, unled. We are the anti-remnant, faithfully keeping covenant from every nation, tongue, and tribe. We are your warrior bride. Yes, we are the anti-remnant, faithfully keeping covenant from every nation, tongue, and tribe. We are your warrior bride. Okay, anybody got some prayer requests? You need to pray for, I know for Katie, because she got sick right when she got home from breakaway today. So pray for her. So Christina, will you be praying for her? Who else? Catherine. She sent me a picture of her cute little girl. And she said, I don't think you. Oh no! Were you Sanders' wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her name?
It's kind of worse with me.
Annalise.
Annalise.
Oh, that's
I should know that on me.
Yes.
And they just had family in town, and they're both of their relationships are hard with their parents. And so she said, I would love prayer for wisdom on keeping healthy boundaries with our families and how to protect our baby girl while still showing our families Jesus. They haven't responded well to our boundaries, which feels discouraging. But ultimately, we know that He is in control and can move miraculously in their lives. We are just holding on to that hope.
Well, Christine, once you, since she sent that to you and you know more about it, why don't you pray for that?
As well?
No, I'm gonna switch and you pray for Katie.
Just take.
You pray for Katie and she'll pray for that. Anybody else got stuff?
A couple of things.
Yes, go 2, 3, whatever you got.
I had a surgery next Friday. This would be the third one out of 3. And I'm mortified, but I know that I trust the Lord it's gonna go well. Also, I'm praying for my grief process because it's putting, let me word this correctly. So been moving on with my business and we were expanding, and then my dad got sick, and then things kind of went downhill, and I put everything on hold. And then since he passed away, I don't feel motivated to do anything. I feel like all that flame that was in me, that was burning, has completely gone off. And half the family works at our business. American knows. So we can't afford to just stay still.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I don't have not just energy, but the motivation or the ambition to keep going. So I need prayer to get out of that place because it's very tough.
Yeah. Your grief is turned into depression, and a spirit is taking control. Yeah.
Yes.
But there also might be something to discern, right? Like, is this some place where God's like pausing you because you are such a go-getter and such a high energy achiever, and he's like, okay, let's look at what we're doing. Is that really what you want to do? Is that what I want you to do? Or are you just doing that out of feeling responsible for everyone? Right? Do you trust me that if you stop what you're doing, that I will provide work for all these people? Because if that's what he's calling me to do, then he will do that. Right. So, like it's easy to pray, Lord, just help me to be happy with what I'm doing again. It's like, well, maybe he's making you unhappy because he wants you somewhere else. And maybe not, but I think to sit in that discomfort is.
Or he's pacing you. Like, it's okay to grieve too. Like, that's a process. You can't rush that. And like, God's going to give you enough capacity for each day. And I think as like high achieving, ambitious women, we put so much pressure to do so much each day. And sometimes God just gives you enough for that day. And he's going to provide financially for that day, and he's going to provide motivation for that day. You don't have to do the expansion and the growth and the this and the that and the, and it's like just enough for the day. I don't know. That's what I was kind of feeling too.
No, this very accurately describes the phase I'm in right now. I like get up in the morning with this much energy for that single day, and then I go home and I'm like, oh, I did great today.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna think about tomorrow because if I think about it, I really don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I wake up and then literally I have this much energy to just keep going for those 8-9 hours, and then I go home and I feel like I get recharged for the next day. But
With your
it's just
surgery, the implantation.
no, I'm still preparing for that.
Oh, okay.
So they had taken out 5 fibroids out of my uterus. And I go in next Friday so they can shoot the roots with laser. They have to get burned off. And then I have to heal first before I try eating.
Okay.
It's gonna be a couple months.
Yeah.
Before I go in for another follow-up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rachel, you've lost your dad. Will you be the one to pray for her about?
Yeah, I actually really feel burdened to pray for you and just talk with you. I feel kind of uncomfortable with everybody. It's such a deep wound
And I don't want to be like light with like, and we just pray to take away this pain. Like I literally have walked through what you're explaining, and I would love to like pray with you as a sister and just talk with you on maybe on a little bit deeper level than I can pray with you now too. But I would love to speak with you one on one if you would like that.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been, it's funny you say that because my very close friends that lost their fathers and they were very close to, just like I was with mine. I asked them like, how long does this take? You know, what do I expect next? What's gonna happen? So I would definitely appreciate that, some guidance.
Yes.
One.
Yeah. I want to pray with you for sure and talk with you. So I don't know how.
Well, I think when it's time, let's have you, at least so that the rest of us can come in agreement with whatever it is from this day on, you're gonna be imparting to her to help her, but we can all be in agreement with you there. So if you wouldn't mind doing that. Holly, would you start before that though and pray for her health? And and this fibroid thing is what's helping her to get pregnant.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's where your heart is. So
Are we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavenly Father, Lord, I just thank you for this group of women. I thank you for just Alina. I thank you for her. I thank you, Lord. It's hard for me to even come in this moment. But God, we know, Lord, that you know Alina's heart. You know her heart, Lord. You know, Father, that she wants a baby. She wants to be a mother